Welcome back to the layers panel. We left off needing to cover slice, weld, attach, flatten, and contour. So let's start with slice. Slice, you can only select two objects. All right. If you look over here in your layers panel, you'll see that these are all your layers and they're all single object layers. All right, if I select these two and I group them, then I have a group of two objects. It's not a group of one object, it's a group of two objects. Okay, so let me ungroup that. You cannot slice a group. All right. If I select these two and I attach them, you'll see that I have these two attached, but they're not one layer, they're two. Okay, so let me detach those, and I'll change this to a different color. I don't know why, I just did. All right, so if I place this circle inside there and I place this circle, let me arrange it to the front. Sorry, my voice is giving out. Okay, and I select all of these. I cannot slice because I have three objects, 1, 2, 3, selected. But if I take this object, hold my shift key and take this object and I weld them, weld makes one object, okay? And then, well, that was a pretty poor, let me go back. That was a pretty poor example. Let me put this here like this. Okay, so if I select that one, shift key, select that one, and I weld them, it makes it one object. Okay, so now I can select these two objects. Even though I have a weld in there, that's fine. I only have two selected, then I can slice. And slice, people like to say, is like a cookie cutter. Whatever's on top is the cutter, whatever's on the bottom is the dough. So it's going to cut this out of the dough. Okay, so let me get back to where I was. So weld basically makes a new shape. Okay, that's what weld does. If I put this here, and let me arrange it and move it to the front. If I put this here, let's say I wanted this to be like this L shape here, then I could select them both and I could slice them, and I'm going to end up with an L shape. Okay, so that made a new shape. All right, another thing that you can use slice for is, let's say I have a rectangle and I want the word love cut out of that rectangle. Okay, that's, let me arrange this to the back. Okay, so this is my cookie cutter, the rectangle is my dough. If I select slice, you know what's going to happen. I can grab the two loves and delete them, and that's going to be hollow, and it's going to cut out the word love out of this rectangle. But if I just select these two and attach them and go to make it, let's see what's going to happen. It's going to cut my rectangle, and it's going to cut the love out of the inside. So it's going to do the same thing that slice does. in fewer steps, okay? It's going to give you the same result by attaching. So you do not need to weld or slice. Just take the two objects and attach them, okay? Let me undo that. The thing with attach is I can have as many objects on here as I want, and I can select them all and I can attach them, and when I go to make it, it's going to cut all of those out of this rectangle. All right, it's going to cut all 3 stars and all 4 letters. All right, where slice, you can only do 2 at a time. So I would have to do these 2 hearts, and then I would have to do, or actually 1 heart, oh my gosh, 1 star and the rectangle, 1 star and the rectangle, and delete everything. 1 star and the rectangle, and delete the 2 stars. The rectangle and the word love, and delete the 2 words that are the result of a slice. So just select stuff and attach it if you want it to cut out. Use slice to make new objects, new shapes, and use attach for the other stuff. Much, much easier. Now, let me go ahead and duplicate this. Another thing that you can use slice for is, let's say I uploaded something from Google and it was a saying like this, but I only wanted the bottom part of the saying. I didn't want the top part of the saying. So I can take a shape and I can cover up the top part of that saying, and I can select it all and I can slice. And then I can have just the bottom part and get rid of the rest. Okay? So you can use it for deleting parts of an image or parts of, text that you don't want, and use it to make a new shape. That's what I would use slice for. All right. So weld, I've kind of already gone over, but let me go ahead and bring this stuff over here. And my biggest pet peeve, I think, is seeing this on a project. This is a script font. It is meant for the letters to be touching, and they should be touching. Let me go ahead and lower my letter spacing so I can get them to touch. And this R is not lined up. Okay, now let's go to make it and let's look at that. And hopefully you can see it, but I have a feeling that you can't. But you can try it. I'm not sure what font this is, but just try it with your script font and use a scrap piece of vinyl or whatever and cut it out. What's going to happen is it's going to cut where all these letters connect. It's going to cut out of the next letter, okay? It's going to cut a little piece out here. It's not going to cut as one continual piece. In order for it to do that, you need to select it and weld it, all right? And when I weld it, well, let me go back because I didn't have them close enough. Doggone it all. It's still welded. Now it's text. Okay. So let me select it and let me go lower this so they're a little bit closer. Okay, that's better. Now, what I was saying is that where this touches, it's going to cut. And where this touches, it's going to cut. It's going to cut here. It's not going to cut as one fluid continual piece around each word. Okay, so in order for it to do that, you need to weld it. And if you weld it, then I'm not sure you can see this either, but it will cut as one continual piece. There's no pieces where these letters connect and overlap that are going to be cut out if you weld them. So script font weld, okay? Make a new shape as one continual cut, weld, okay? And it will not cut into your other shape, where if you slice, it's going to, you know, cut this out and it's going to leave the shape of this diamond in this triangle. And if you attach, it's going to cut that out. So let me undo. I'll move this a little bit closer. And let me attach and then go to make it. It's going to cut this line right here. So it's going to cut this diamond out. Okay? So, and it will no longer be a diamond. All right? So, if you want this to cut as one continual piece, just like this, and not cut the rest of this diamond, then you're going to weld. All right? Let me detach those. Okay, another misconception is that you have to have things touching to weld them, and you don't. So let me select this word and let me ungroup it so that I can move my letters around. I'm going to go ahead and delete this O. I'm going to put this heart here instead. And let's just grab these two and, well, and move them down here. All right. Now, if I click go and I go to my blue mat, look what it did. That's not what I wanted. I want it to look like this. So let me select it all and let me attach it. And if I click make it and I go to my blue mat, it's going to cut like I have it designed. Okay, let me cancel that. Let me undo it. Let me select it all again and let me weld it. Now these are not touching. Go to make it, go to my blue mat, but they're still in the way that I designed them. Okay, so attach and weld will make one object. It will weld makes one object. Attach holds everything in place when you take it to your mat. But this, I can no longer separate it. I can't ungroup it. I can't detach it. I can't unweld it. So if you just need it to stay in place while it cuts, just select it all and attach it. If you want it to be a new shape, a new object, then you want to weld it. Okay? So I'm going to have to start another video to finish this up because I've got 30 seconds left on this one. I'm sorry, but my videos are limited to 15 minutes because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for a better screen recording program. So join me for the last video and we'll get through this. Thanks for watching.